What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy, and today we're diving into a funny AskReddit where being technically correct is the best kind of correct. So, let's get to it. Alright, so the AskReddit question was, teachers of Reddit, what's the funniest answer you've gotten from a student that technically wasn't wrong? I asked, when is a time you have used integrity? He wrote down, I wash my hands after going to the bathroom, even if no one is in there. Well, I would hope so, especially today. Teaching English to middle schoolers in Korea asked, okay, what's another way you can express surprise in English? After going over expressions like, no way, are you serious, are you kidding me? Kid yells from the very back of the room, what the I mean, yeah, that is a way. Why are you late? The bell went off before I got here. Boy, you want to get slapped? Because that's how you get slapped. In grade 9 English, we were studying The Hobbit. One bonus question for the test was, what word does Gollum never say? The answer, of course, was I, but one kid put down pumpernickel. And the teacher was like, frick, you're right, have a mark. Edit. Guys, this was a bonus question meant to give you an easy mark, which it did as he gave the guy a point for pumpernickel. Had it been a more hobbity question, it would have just been included in the main exam. He also asked about the 1994 Stanley Cup playoffs and Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. The main body of the test was much more academic. So that reminds me, when I was in 7th grade, they were doing this weird thing where, like, you were in this certain sort of, like, track type system where if you were in, like, track A, you had these 4 teachers and you had, like, their classes in relatively close proximity to each other. And if you were in track B, you did, like, these 4. And the courses were, like, math, English, science, and social studies, I think. Anywho, so on one of the tests in my 7th grade math class, my math teacher put down some question involving all 4 of the teachers and no possible way to extrapolate the data from that. I mean, it was like trying to base the amount of time to cook his lunch off of the science teacher's break time, which is based off of the social studies teacher's drive to school, which, I mean, it was bizarre. And, I mean, you could have put any number in there and it would have been right. And I was just like, what? And I was wrong. Yeah. I was like one of 2 people to get that bonus question wrong. Gosh, I hated 7th grade. I teach English to Vietnamese kids. I asked, what is the population of Vietnam? The kid quickly surveyed the room and said, more than 15. This guy is going places. I mean, you know, technically he's right. Phys ed teacher here. I always wear shorts teaching. Parent-teacher conferences roll around, grade 1 student comes up to me with her parents. OP, I've never seen you wear pants before. I've never responded quicker to a comment before in my life to clear that up. Well, in this day and age, I mean, frick. I mean, obviously, innocent explanation, totally above board, nothing going on. But yeah, I can see red flags going off with parents with that. I worked in a special needs class for a year, and there was the one kid with a textbook case of Asperger's syndrome. Very bright, very tough nut to crack. I tried to tell him a corny joke once, and he was not having it. Why did the chicken cross the road? He likely had business over there or was compelled by force. Well, okay. Easily my favorite memory of that class. Not a teacher, but someone told me this. What side of the road do people in France drive on? Miss, they drive on both sides. I mean, yeah, that's right. It's left and right do get used, just not in the same direction. In a class that deals with electricity, I asked the students to name a good conductor. Leonard Bernstein. Kids got taste. In 7th grade on a test, the question said, why do some people see some technology as positive and others see the same technology as a problem? And a kid simply put, because some people are Amish. Yeah. So I know I'm doing a massive throwback to yesteryear, but Amish Paradise. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, it was an older song when I was growing up, but man, I laughed so hard to that. Ah. Name 2 ways to determine the height of a building using a barometer that is exactly 1 meter long. 1. Take the barometer to the top of the building, drop it, and time how long it takes to hit the ground. 2. Find the owner of the building and say, hey, I have this really awesome barometer I'll give you if you tell me how tall your building is. I know I would hate the job, but there are times I would love to be a teacher just to see answers like this. I am not cut out to be a teacher by any means. And when I say I hate the job, I am not knocking that profession at all. I know that I personally am not meant for it and would not enjoy it. However, there's a part of me that would love to do it just to see smart aleck responses like this. Same kid on the same quiz. Question: describe the bus ride at the beginning of the chapter. Answer: it was a bus ride filled with action, but also emotion. Question: what happens at the end of the story? Answer: the story ends. Kid's going to be a politician someday. Saying both everything at once and nothing at all in the same sentence. In 9th grade, my teacher was given a 6-week vacation. So we had a sub and all these silly quizzes each day about the book we were reading, Animal Farm. The last 2 questions were, what do you think will happen in the next chapter? And in the end. I eventually got tired of writing it and said, they're all going to die over and over. She came back and laughed and said, well, you're not wrong. I teach and coach baseball. After our shortstop got thrown out on second for the 3rd out, I told someone to pick up Will. In baseball terms, meaning get his glove and hat so he can go out to the field. This kid, who was new to baseball, a big lineman type football player, claps his hands and goes, "It's okay, Will, you'll get them next time." I cried laughing. Edit: Will was the name of the shortstop. The kid who picked him up was genuinely being nice and thoughtful. But coming from this big, intimidating kid, it was really funny. Oh, you gotta love little wholesome stories like that. It was a completely innocent gesture, yet wildly off the mark, and yet both made people laugh and came across in the right way. The question: a man has to get a fox, a chicken, and a sack of corn across a river. He has a rowboat, and it can only carry him and one other thing. If the fox and the chicken are left together, the fox will eat the chicken. If the chicken and the corn are left together, the chicken will eat the corn. How does the man do it? Students answer: let the chicken eat the corn and let the fox eat the chicken, then bring the fox over. I mean, yeah, it's technically all there. Though kind of funny, because when I was going through and picking stuff out for today's video, I came across that one, read it to my wife, and we were laughing about it a bit. And then I posed the question of, I can't fathom a single instance where a man would be stranded by a river with a rowboat, a chicken, some corn, and a fox. And she just turned to me and she's like, clearly you've not played enough D&D. I mean, checkmate. How do you respond to that? Gosh, I love my wife. On a 3rd grade Charlotte's Web quiz, give 2 pieces of evidence that support this statement. Charlotte was a good friend to Wilbur. She comforted him, and she didn't let him become pork. It's actually really not a bad answer. Not a teacher, but just a witness to this hilarity. In science class in high school, our teacher was talking about electricity and lightning and the effects of being electrocuted. He asked if anyone happened to know what is the first sense you lose when struck by lightning. Without missing a beat, a girl put her hand up and answered in all honesty, "Your sense of humor?" Class had to stop for a few minutes until everyone could regain their composure. I mean, I know I asked stupid questions in school too, but man, that just... Though for anyone curious, it is your sense of hearing. The first sense you lose if you survive a lightning strike is your sense of hearing. Asked, what is the moral of the story of the little engine that could? Answered, don't pick up hitchhikers. To refresh your memory, the engine had trouble getting up the hill because he had taken on several more passengers due to their train breaking down. Elementary school kids saw the answer key. He swore he came up with answers may vary all on his own. Clearly, someone needs to explain to him what answers may vary actually means, because, yeah. Oh. So, another random tangent story here, but when I was in 4th grade, our teacher did these things where it was like we got like pirate coins or like shark bucks or something like that. I don't even remember why they were called shark bucks, but anyways, every other month we do an auction with these that were given out as like merits by the teacher for completing assignments or good behavior or just going above and beyond, you know, just the typical stuff. And there were these 2 kids that always dominated the auctions. They always got everything they wanted, and mathematically we just couldn't figure out how they were doing it. How were they that loaded? And we came to find out later that they'd figured out where in the teacher's desk the coins were hidden, and they were liberating them. And yeah, it was kind of a big deal. And they did the same thing with shark bucks too, and so this wasn't found out until way late in the year, but they got in huge trouble. Yeah. And then they got in a fight and one of them gave the other a black eye, and it was a big deal, but whatever. Teaching English in Korea, going over vocabulary words. Dozen. Egg family. Same kid, a month or so later. Evolution. Monkey level up. Monkey level up. Clearly a Pokemon player here. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below, or click on the icon here on the left side of the end screen to take you right to it. Now you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside if you're supposed to. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.